Cool guys. So I'm not gonna take much of your time. I'll quickly, take you through the details of the Dodital and Darwa Pass trek in Uttarakhand. We'll go through the day-wise itinerary, the movement plans. I'll quickly take you through some important details regarding, what kind of layers you would need for the trek and what kind of things to pack. And then later, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer you. So I actually have a small presentation. I'm gonna share my screen so that I can take you through the PPT. Cool. Are you guys able to see the screen?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, we are going for the Dodital and Darwa Pass trek in Uttarakhand. It's a very beautiful trek in the Gadwal region of Himalayas in Uttarakhand. A very short, easy grade trek, and very pretty as well. You pass through beautiful forest areas in the initial part, and then there is a very pretty, very holy lake as well. So the Dodital. It is known as or believed to be the birthplace of Lord Ganesha. So there is a very old temple over there as well. And from there onwards, we'll try to make our way towards Darwa Pass, which will give us some stunning views of all the Himalayan views over there. So these are some of the facts about the trek. Maximum altitude that we'll be touching if we go all the way up to Darwa Pass, then it would be around 3,800 meters. Start point and end point for this particular trek would be Dehradun. I will be meeting you at Dehradun on 22nd of May, and on 22nd itself, we'll be driving to a place called Agoda village, which is the start point of this trek. Total duration from Dehradun to Dehradun would be 6 days, which will include 4 days of trekking. So technically, we are only camping for 3 nights in the mountains. And in terms of difficulty level, it's easy to moderate, and we'll be staying in a guest house during our arrival in Agoda at the village, and then throughout the trek, there would be camping. So I'll take you through the plan of the trek. On day one, when you arrive at Dehradun, same day we'll be driving to Agoda. So because it's a very long drive, almost about like 7.5 hours of drive, we recommend that you arrive at least a day prior so that you get like enough rest on the previous night. And then on 22nd itself, we drive to Agoda. It's a very windy road, mountain road, but very, well-made road. There are no off-roading sections or any like difficult road. Very smooth road overall, so journey is comfortable. Just that, if you have motion sickness, we would highly recommend to carry, any kind of medicines if that works for you. Once we reach Agoda, we'll be staying in a guest house. The stay is organized on twin sharing basis. It's a very pretty cute little, village homestay with some stunning views of mountains and a valley just right in front of us. Uh, so yeah, later in the evening we'll do a briefing again. We'll take you through the plan for the next days. So on the second day, 23rd of May, this is when we begin our journey. So we start right from the homestay, the trail leading us to a place called Bebra, which is an intermediate village. And from Bebra, we continue our journey to our first campsite, which is known as Manji. Overall, it's a very comfortable, easy, gentle trail. We'll be crossing oak and rhododendron forest. Basically, we are just traversing around, at least I think three or four different hills and passing through, village of Bebra. And ultimately, we enter inside a very thick forest, near Manji, and that's where in an open campsite we'll be staying for the first night. So first day the distance is almost around 9 to 10 kilometers, but it's like very gradual, easy, gentle trail. So considering all the breaks and all the stops, it should generally take around 5 to 6 hours to reach the first campsite on our first day of trekking. On the following day, this is when we go from Manji to the lake, the Dodital lake. Very short hike this day, only about like 6 to 7 kilometers total. Should take only about like 4 to 5 hours. Again, it is pretty much through a very well covered, forest area. You'll get to see deodar, maple, and oak trees all around. And as I mentioned, Dodital, it's a vast, lake over there, which feeds pretty much all the streams around. There is a very old Ganesh temple, and this is known as the birthplace of Lord Ganesha. And our campsite would be right next to the lake, so we'll be, if the weather is good, we'll get some stunning views of the lake and all the reflections in the crystal clear water of the lake. So after reaching Dodital, we are on the next day. We are going to Darwa Top or Darwa Pass. So there are actually 2 points. The Darwa Pass is relatively higher point, and Darwa Top is somewhere lower than that. So this day is like pretty much like flexible in a way, depending on the weather conditions, depending on how everyone is feeling, depending on whether everyone wants to like push to the top or to the pass. We can accordingly decide, or we can split the group as well. Some people can decide to go all the way to the pass. Some people can just climb up to a comfortable spot and then enjoy the view and descend back. So this is more like an excursion because we are not shifting the camp, we are staying at Dorital itself. So yeah, depending on the situation and how everyone feels, this day is like pretty much flexible in a way. So yeah, if we go to the Darwa pass, it is almost about like 4.5 hours to reach the pass, and then again another 2.5 hours to descend back down. So relatively a longer day, distance wise also, like if we reach all the way to the pass and return back, it should take around like it would be about like 10 to 12 kilometers total. Relatively difficult section than the earlier trail, because earlier we were like pretty much walking on like more defined trail through forest. But on this particular day, there are some scree slopes as well, where sometimes depending on the situation, if it has rained also, it is relatively difficult to walk on that. But again, like it's not a major technical section. Depending on how we feel, we'll make our attempt to reach the Darwa Pass. And from the pass, we get to see all the big mountains. Some of them are almost 6,000 to 6,500 meter high. So very popular mountains like Bandarpuj, Kalanag, Swargarohini Peak, and of course, like from the top, we get to see the Bhagirathi and Yamunotri Valley as well. And yeah, on that day, we return back to the same campsite at Dodital. The next day, we begin our journey, descend back down from Dodital all the way back to Agoda. So this is a very long day, almost 7 to 9 hours, depending on our pace. But because it is a descent, we'll be feeling more strong, and the trail would be like more comfortable in a way because it's largely a descent. Uh, Although a very long distance, about like 15 kilometers, but we'll break down the journey. So first, like from Dodital, we'll come back to Manji, take enough break, and from Manji we'll come back to Bebra. Again, there would be a longer break, and then from Bebra, it's only like about like 1.5, even less than that, depending on the pace. Our journey to reach back to our homestay in Agoda. So that night, our stay would be again in a homestay, and on the following day we'll drive back to Dehradun and we'll drop you at your accommodation, or if you are flying out on the same day, at the airport. So this is the day wise plan for the trek. These are some of the pictures, some of the campsite. The on the left side you can see the campsites of Manji, and as you can see, all the snow-clad peaks around. This is how the tent setup will look like. There would be proper sleeping mattress. We'll also organize pillows. There would be a very comfortable warm sleeping bag as well. And yeah, this is how the tent setup looks. There would be a proper setup of a dining tent with dining stools. We'll see if we can organize chair, but mostly it would be dining stools or dining chair combination of that. And there would be a spacious dining tent with all the dining facilities. And yeah, these are some of the views. As you can see, very pretty lake of Dorital. One of the pictures from the homestay as well. and some of the pictures from our previous groups. Yeah, so there are like many natural ponds, natural streams all around where we can just sit by, relax, and enjoy the view. And yeah, so this is how the trek looks like. Now, although like you might have done previous treks and you would like know about layering, but I'll quickly take you through this concept. Um, these are the most essential layers that you would need for the trek. First and foremost is your thermals, which you can use once you reach the campsite and which you can use during your sleep time. Of course, when we start the trek during the day, if it is sunny and there is no winds, you can practically like walk in your t-shirt and your trousers. But you also need to have a fleece jacket handy in case it gets cold. And very important, you need to have a down jacket, which you can essentially use once we reach the campsite when we are not on the move. So the down jacket will keep you warm. And very important layer, which would be your windproof and waterproof jacket. Although May would be an ideal time to go for this trek, there is always some probability of rain. So it's very important that you are always carrying your rain jacket in your day pack. And to protect your extremities, your woolen caps, a beanie, buff, or a neck tube. It's very important gear which can cover your entire neck. It can be used as a mask as well. You need to have a pair of gloves, which would be fleece gloves as an inner. And if you have insulated gloves, I think once we are at Dodital, that would be the place where we'll feel more cold because it's just next to the lake. Manji, because it is surrounded by forest and tree cover, the temperature won't be like very low. But again, like depending on the weather condition, it can be cold, especially during early mornings and during the night time. And of course, you need to carry normal socks, woolen socks to sleep in during the night. So that those were the most essentials layers. Some of the accessories that you need to carry is definitely your water bottles. There would be refill stations along the way, but we generally recommend to have at least like 2 liters of water when you start your hike, so that you don't really need to refill on the way. Head torch, very important. You can use it during the evening time at the campsite, because there won't be any electricity or any kind of lights around. A small day pack to carry all your essentials just for the day. All your main luggage, it will be carried by mules, so it will be only available once we reach the campsite. So all the essentials you need to carry in your day pack. Trekking poles, it's optional. If you are comfortable using them, it's a good idea to bring that. If you are not comfortable, still we would recommend to have at least like one trekking pole, because generally it helps, especially during the descent. We recommend to carry a lunch box because one of the days, as I mentioned, like from Dodital to the pass and back, it's very long day. So on that particular day, instead of a hot lunch at the campsite, we might have to do a packed lunch. And to avoid any kind of plastic packaging and all, we generally recommend to carry a small lunch box so that we can fill it for your lunch. Uh, you can carry a duffel bag or a rucksack, whichever you have, for the main luggage. Make sure you don't carry any kind of trolley bags or any kind of bags with hard shell or any wheels, because then it's very difficult to load them on mules and it can harm them as well. So any normal duffel bag should ideally work. We'll be carrying a proper first aid medical kit, but if you have any specific medication that works for you, we recommend you to carry. And another things like sun protection, sunglasses, sunscreen and all, and also your personal toiletries. There would be a proper toilet setup at the campsite. There would be two styles of toilet tents that we set up. One would be pitlu style, which is essentially that there is a dig on the ground, and then there is a tent set up on that. So that's the standard one. And another one, it's called the western style bio toilet that we use, very similar to the commode that you see in the aircraft. So a small mobile commode in a way, with a proper toilet seat. There would be a flush system as well, so very comfortable to use and hygienic as well. will ensure that it is regularly cleaned and looked after. But yeah, do carry your personal toiletries as well. Yeah, that was pretty much about the trek from my side. Now, I'll be happy to answer if you have any questions regarding the trek. Sorry, I went on a monologue, but I hope the information was useful.
I
So
think
yeah,
it pretty much covered everything. No, I don't think there's any question as such. Thanks, Umang.
no worries, Anil.
Yeah, I don't have any questions either. Hey guys, sorry, I was running chores earlier, but yeah, pretty good. Looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Yeah. I'm like just a call or a message away. So in case, any particular questions about the plan or what to pack and any other things, feel free to reach out.
Done.
All right, guys. Cool. Looking forward to seeing you in
Hey,
Dehradun soon.
just one question. You said on the 22nd morning you'd be picking up. We'd be starting from the airport. So we need to make our way from the hotel to the airport.
No, so
That
this
early.
that is the standard plan. So if most people are arriving a day earlier, then mutually will decide a meeting point of, like, if let's say like everyone is in the similar area
Sure.
in a particular part of the city, we'll decide one particular hotel and everyone can get there, and then we drive from there. So those logistics will
All
only
right.
be able to know once, like, you have booked your flights and your hotel accommodation.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, but
Got
it
it.
doesn't
Oh,
necessarily
yeah.
have
So
to be the airport. We'll decide a central location or any of the hotels where people are staying in.
we
Yeah.
booked Ginger Hotel because Ayush said it's on the highway on the way to
Right.
Agoda, so
That is
it's
a really
convenient.
good option. Yeah, Ginger is a good option. So maybe,
Ginger, is it?
yeah,
Okay.
Hotel Ginger.
So then
And
we'll also try booking there.
yeah, if everyone can, book at the same place, then it's very convenient for everyone as well.
Done.
Cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
And Anita,
Thanks so much.
you're coming to the trek with your son, is it?
I'm coming with my son. Yes, 15-year-old son. He
Very
actually
good.
wanted something that wasn't easy, but he's asthmatic. We can't go in high altitudes and things yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll see. And you're
very
coming
cool.
with you're coming with your kids as well.
Yeah, the whole family. So yeah, the four of us, but yeah, 10-year-old twins, boy girl
Oh
twins.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, it'll be fun. They're
Yeah.
experienced, so they went on the Baleni Pass trek a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I did the Annapurna base camp by myself, so Naman got inspired, and he's like, let's do one together." So I was like,
nice,
"Yeah, okay."
nice.
15-year-old son asking me, I should take the opportunity.
This is a good
Don't know
start.
when that phase will go.
Take it when you can, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like equally, in a way, like it is short and easy as well. But the last part, if you want to like push for the Darwa pass, which adds
Yeah. For
into
the
the
top of
challenge.
the yeah,
Yeah. So it has
yeah.
everything for everyone. So if you just want to like relax by the campsite, take it easy and like, don't really push too much, it's there. But if you also want to reach to almost 4,000 meter, I mean, not 4,000 meter, little lower than that, but that option is also there to reach the
Yeah,
Darwa.
that's still quite high, huh? 3,800, I think it is, right? Yeah, that's yeah.
So it is
Mm.
challenging as well. Yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
All right, guys. Looking forward to
Okay.
seeing you
See
all.
you soon. Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much.
Bye, guys.
Yes.
Bye.
See you. Thank you. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.